and welcome back to She Stitchin'. This is Melanie, and I am doing a video here on our next stitch for the Just Another Crochet Along, and this one I'm going to call the Granny Waffle Stitch. It's very easy to do if you know how to do front posts, and you can see it kind of gets that waffle texture, but it's a little less severe, or it's a little more delicate than the traditional waffle stitch. So it is kind of one-sided, but on this side it does kind of look cool. It looks like some V-stitches or something. But you can see here it is done with groups of 3, which is why it's called the Granny Waffle. So let's go ahead and get started. So to match the gauge for our crochet along, you can either use a 5.5 or a 5.75 millimeter hook. So it's a J hook if you're using the American terms, and our size 4 yarn. And if you're not doing the crochet along with us, you can use any hook and yarn you want. Just go ahead and start with a starting chain of 3 plus 4. It's going to be a little bit different if you're not doing the crochet along with us, because you'll have one less stitch on this side, but that'll be easy, and I'll explain when we get there. So go ahead and start, if you're doing the crochet along, like I said, with your starting stitch of 32. And while you're doing that, let me go ahead and show you guys some samples that I worked up. So this is like the traditional baby yarn that we all grew up with, and a much smaller hook. This was with the 3.5, but you can see it does look really pretty with that thinner yarn there. So one idea in one type of a variegated yarn. And then this is a Lion Brand Thick and Quick Woolies. So it's a very chunky yarn. And I used a 6.5 millimeter hook for this. And you can see it looks really cool. Lots of pretty height created out of that. A little bit harder to tell because this is the wool, but it still looks pretty cool. So I will meet you at the bottom of your 32 chain. Alright, so before we get started, I just wanted to mention that all of my swatches here in the back that are for the crochet along are made out of the Caron 1 pound, and it is a size 4 yarn, and it's acrylic. And today, though, for the tutorial, I'm going to be using my Peaches and Cream cotton mix, just because it's a little bit easier to see the stitches, and I also want to make a dishcloth out of this pattern. And you can see all my swatches here in the back are all the swatches that use our different post stitches. So if you like using this post stitch to create the texture, these are some awesome stitches to try in the background as well. We have on the edge in the gray, this is just regular post stitches, a great intro. Then we have rice stitch, our stitch for the day, the Granny Waffle. Then we have a V-stitch waffle and our zigzag post, or just a zigzag stitches. So you can go ahead and give those a try as well. Okay, so here we are at the end of my 32 chain with my milk chocolate and the peaches and cream. So what we're going to do now is we're going to skip these first 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go into the 4th, and we're going to do a double crochet. So that's a double crochet in American terms, which means you're going to yarn over first, place it into the stitch, yarn over and pull loop back through, then you have 3 on your hook, then yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over again and pull through another 2. So those are the double crochets in American term, and we're going to go ahead and do that all the way across. So you're going to end up with 29 double crochets, and then we're also going to be counting this turning chain for our crochet along, so you'll end up with 30 all the way across. So go ahead and do that first row, all double crochets, and I'll meet you at the other side. Alright, so now we've gone all the way across, and you can see I've got the 29 double crochet plus the turning chain. So let's go ahead and start on the next row. So before we turn for row 2, what I'm going to say what we should do is to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we're going to turn it. Then what we're going to do is we're going to skip this stitch here, skip this one, and go to the 3rd stitch in. And we're going to do a front post single crochet. So we haven't done any front post single crochets yet. Most of the time we do front post and back post double crochets, but this pattern calls for the single crochet. So the way that we do that is we're going to isolate this post, this stitch here, and this part of the stitch is called the post, the tall part. What we're going to do is we're going to put our hook all the way behind. So you can see I'm going all the way behind the stitch, so not through anything really, but all the way wrapping around the stitch, like, or wrapping around the tree, if you want to say it that way. And then what we're going to do is just yarn over and pull loop up, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2. So that's just a basic single crochet, right? Because a basic single crochet, I'll do one here, don't do this, but a basic single crochet is just a place through, pull yarn up, then pull through 2 in American terms. But here we've done the same exact thing, just around the post. So go ahead and do that once, and then what we're going to do is chain 2. So 1, 2, and then we're going to do that again. So we're going to skip 1, 2, and we'll go into the next one here. So place our hook all the way around the tree, all the way around that post, yarn over, pull, loop up, yarn over, pull through 2. So just like a normal single crochet, except we're going around the whole tree, around the whole post, okay? And then we'll chain 2. So that's what we're going to repeat the whole way across. We're going to skip, chain 2, skip these 2, and then do a front post single crochet. 1 and 2. Chain 2. Skip 2 down here, and go all the way around this one. And so go ahead, and it should go pretty quickly, this row, but I will meet you at the end. Let me do one more with you. So skip 2, go into that third one. So you can see this is the stitch that we used before. We're going to skip 2 and go to the third one. Go all the way behind it. Yarn over, pull loop up, and then yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so go ahead and finish that off till the end, and I'll meet you, the end of the row is a little bit different. So I'll meet you there. Okay, so now I've come to the end. If you're doing the crochet along with us, you're going to have 9 of these front post single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you'll have 3 stitches left at the end of the row. And if you're not doing the crochet along with us and you're trying to work this up in a different amount, you should just have 2 stitches left at the end. Okay, so if you're doing the crochet along with us, what you're going to do is chain 1 and do 2 single crochets. We're going to skip this stitch here and do a single crochet in the top, and then at the end. And if you're not doing a crochet along with us, all you're going to have is a turning chain at the end. So you're just going to chain 1 and go into the turning chain. So there you have the end. So just to say that again, if you're doing the crochet along with us, you're going to have 2 single crochets here at the end. And if you're not doing the crochet along with us, you're just going to have 1. All right, now let's go ahead and turn and get started for row 3. Okay, so row 3 is going to start out with a chainless standing double crochet. Now this is the stitch that I use to keep my edges nice and crisp, like you can see here. It's not wavering at all because of turning stitches. So what we're going to do is pull up your crochet to the height of a double crochet, pull up your loop to the height of a double crochet here, and then hold pressure here with your finger so that this doesn't unravel. So what we're going to do is go down with your hook and get an extra wrap on there so that it looks like you have a yarn over. And then you're going to go under the first 2 loops of that last stitch, put your hook in there, yarn over, and pull loop up and through, and then it looks like you've got 3 loops on. Then you're going to pull through 2, and then let go of the tension finally, and pull through the last 2. So that's that chainless standing double crochet. Now if you want to give that a try, or you already know how, it's a great thing to do. I really think it improves my crocheting a lot. And I'll include a link to the Moogly blog where she teaches more about that. And I'll do it one more time with you in the video as well. But you can also just do a chain 3. So if you're not doing the crochet along with us, this next single crochet stitch right here isn't here, so just skip it. If you are doing the crochet along, you're going to do a double crochet into this next single crochet here. All right. Now everything, the rest of this row will be the same for everyone. So what we're going to do now is we're going to place 3 double crochets into this front post single crochet. So we're looking at this from the back. Now normally we would go just in here like this. But we're going to be placing 3 in here, and it's going to push a lot of stress onto that single yarn there. So what I want to do, you can do this if you want, if not, you don't have to. I'm also going to go under this other piece of yarn here, this 3rd piece. And what that does is it's just going to place 2 pieces of yarn here. You can see both these light brown segments here. Both of those are going to be holding this on. So let me show you that again. You can see the V from the back of the single crochet. I'm just going to insert under there, under that piece of yarn, and under the 2 loops. So under that piece of yarn and under the 2 loops. And that's just going to make it a little bit more secure. So then what we're going to do here is we're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and these are all going into that same space. Okay, and then we're going to go to the next one. So let me show you. Oh, this is actually the way the yarn broke is good, or the yarn color changed is good. So normally we would just go under these kind of white stitches here, but I'm also going to grab this stitch from down, or this loop down here, to make the stitch extra secure, so that this little light one isn't holding the stress of all 3 of these double crochet. So I'm going to go under the front loop, back loop, and this extra piece of yarn here. Okay, so yarn over and place it in there. Now you can do it without going through that extra piece of yarn if you want. It's just going to look a little bit different, but that's okay. So now we're going to go ahead and do 3 double crochets here as well. Oops. 2. Oh, I split that yarn there. 2 and 3, and then skip to the next single crochet and do that again. So under the front loop, back loop, and that extra little ring there. One double crochet, 2 double crochets, and then the 3rd one. So go ahead and finish this out doing that same thing, and you're going to do that in each of these front post single crochets all the way across, and I will meet you at the other side. Alright, so now we have reached the end of the row. So we're going to have, let me count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're going to have 9 of those granny clusters. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're just going to put a double crochet into the end. And you remember from our row below, this was a chain 4. So we're going to want to get into that 2nd chain in order to do the double crochet here. So this is the 1st chain, and I'm going to go into that 2nd one here. And then just do a double crochet. So yarn over, pull loop up, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. So that's going to be our edge on that side, and that finishes off row 3. And now let's head up and I'll do row 2 with you again. So the first part of row 2, or so the first part of now through the rest of this pattern, we're always going to repeat row 2 and row 3. So now that we're on row 4, that's going to be a repetition of row 2. So all the even rows are going to be repetitions of row 2. So it starts off by chaining 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then it's a little bit easier because now we can just go for that front post single crochet. We're going to go around the middle double crochet of the cluster. So you can see our 3 stitches here in the cluster. It's a little bit hard because that dark brown's a little hard to see. We can see 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to go around that middle one. And we're just going to do a single crochet. So a front post single crochet. Oops. So pull loop up, and then pull through 2, and then chain 2. So that's going to be what we're going to repeat. So find that middle double crochet and do a front post single crochet around it, and then chain 2. All right, so go ahead and I'll meet you at the end of this row to go over the difference between the crochet along and doing this on its own, and to show you the end. So I'll meet you at the end. Okay guys, I went ahead and shot up a few rows off camera because I wanted to make sure to show you how cool that this colors were turning out on this yarn. It's pretty cool doing like a color pull thing. But like I said before, all the even rows are same and all the odd rows are same. So we can pick up at the end of your row. So once you do the single crochet around that last one, you're going to chain 1. And if you're doing the crochet along with us, you're going to do 2 single crochets. And if you're not, then you're just going to have 1 single crochet because this row or this column isn't going to exist. So if you're doing the crochet along with us, we get 2 single crochets for the end. And if you're not, then it's just 1 single crochet in this turning chain here. All right, and then let me do that chain. Sorry, getting through these corners is always, or the turning stitch is always a little tricky sometimes. All right, there we go. I got through all the plies. All right, so let me go ahead and show you that chainless standing double crochet again and start off the odd row with you so you can see that again. A little bit of slack here. There we go. So for the, oh, this is good. It'll be in a lighter color, so maybe you'll be able to see a little bit better. So you're going to pull this up to the height of a double crochet and push here with your tension. Then wrap it down and under so it looks like you have a yarn over on your hook. Then you're going to go into that first place. You're going to go under the back loop and the front loop. So under, oops, sorry. We're going to go under here, yarn over, pull loop through. Now it looks like you have 3 on. Yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through 2 again. Now, if you're not doing the crochet along with us, you're going to go over to that single crochet. Let me go ahead and try that again, the yarn. I pulled up too much slack. So you want to have the same slack as a double crochet. Wrap it down and under and hold the tension. Go under the front loop and the back loop. Yarn over, pull it through. Yarn over, pull through 2. And yarn over, pull through 2. There we go, that turned out better. Now, if you're not doing the crochet along with us, you're going to jump to that single crochet. If you are doing the crochet along with us, you're going to hit up this single crochet right here and do a double crochet. And now we're going to jump over and do our granny stitch in the post, the single crochet post. Now, like I said, if you'll remember, we're going to go under the front loop, the back loop, and this little side piece here in the post of that single crochet. And that's just to make it more secure. And you don't have to do it that way if you want. You can just do the front and the back loops. And then we're going to crochet 3 double crochet. So obviously the reason why this is called the granny waffle is because you have these 3 double crochets bounced together like it would be in you know, the really popular granny stitch that most of us learn when we're starting out. And it's a waffle stitch because you got those posts and it's creating that look like a waffle. So I hope you have enjoyed Mima's recipe of the golden brown waffles here. And I really like the way it's coming out, especially with this variegated yarn. But I also think it's really pretty in my Caron 1 pound single color. That's my pale green there. So I've done all those rows with you twice now. So just remember to repeat the even and the odd rows. So you're going to keep doing those clusters all the way across and then put a double crochet in the last of that chain and then restart with the even row. So I hope you like this stitch. It was a real pretty fun one for me to do. I like the way it looks. The way that I found this stitch was actually from a chart from a Greek website. So if using a chart will help you, I will include a link to that site. Unfortunately, the site's all in Greek, or Russian. I'm not really sure because it's not the American alphabet, but I'm pretty sure it's Greek. So I will send the link to that there in the comments below, and you can check it out. My next video is going to be on this beautiful primrose stitch. So if you'd like to see that, make sure you subscribe so that you're here for the next one. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope to see you next time. If anybody asks where I am, just tell them she's stitching.